Hello everybody and welcome back to a video. I know I have no makeup on and this is happening. Let's just ignore it, okay? Because it's actually really bad to wear makeup when you're breaking out. Because when you wear makeup, it actually just clogs up your pores more. So it's like, not today, not in the mood right now, to be doing that. I'm also wanting to give advice today for anybody going through any type of relationship issue. For instance, this is for people who are in a relationship, aren't in a relationship, have friends, family members, etc. But this isn't particular to anybody. This is just a general video, so if you think this is about you, it's not. And why would it be? So, this is just to anybody going through anything. So this is, for everyone. And I have to make that very clear because in the past I've made videos like this and they had to be taken down because people just perceived them as I was talking about them when in reality I wasn't, and I was asked to take it down. I am not going to take this guy down because I know exactly what I want to say. I know it has nothing to do with anybody. So let's get started. Yeah, sorry about the long disclaimer, but so firsties, I guess first off, when in a relationship with family, friends, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it may be for you, communication is a number one, okay? It's really hard to have a relationship when y'all lack communication with each other. For me personally, I do have autism and I tend to misunderstand or miscommunicate. So for me specifically, it's really important that you make yourself abundantly clear. And if by doing that you have to be blunt, you gotta be blunt then. But I know I need people to be sometimes very blunt or extremely clear with what they're trying to say, because I will misunderstand you 90% of the time. That is not something I try and purposely do. It's something that I just mentally do, and it can be very frustrating for the other person involved. But I can easily misunderstand, or sometimes, like I said, if you're very clear and you know how to talk to somebody who has autism like me, you gotta be clear, then crystal clear. You gotta be extremely clear with what you want. And most likely if you have a lot to ask, be very clear and detailed with what you want. No, moving on, because for me personally, communication is number one. I've been in relationships where communication was constantly misunderstood. I also don't understand sarcasm, so if you're thinking, oh hey, I can bully you and be like, haha, sarcasm, no. I will easily let that fly over my head, and I'll continue to let it happen until somebody else that's not in my relationship will say, you know what, that's actually not acceptable. What they're doing is bullying, and it's kind of abusive behavior because they're not being sarcastic. They're they're just like bullying you and then throwing in, well, it's a joke. Well, actually, I've kind of learned that that's not funny, and you shouldn't do that to people ever. But that comes with communication too. It's like, I do not understand sarcasm, and it sucks for all the funny people out there because it will go over my head. And 90% of the time, when you are trying to be sarcastic, you are sounding very serious with what you're saying, but it's a joke. When you sound serious and you think you're trying to be funny, I will honestly take it the opposite direction. That comes with communication for me specifically. Other people might be totally fine with sarcasm. For me, not so much. You gotta be like extremely clear on the fact that you are actually joking. Anyway, another thing that's really, really important in any type of relationship is trust. This is number 2 on the list. Now, I've had some really good examples of like why trust is important, and it goes both ways, if that makes sense. So like, your partner better be your partner, family member, cousin, friend. Why was that hard? Your friend, yeah. They have to be trustworthy too, and so do you. I have had many incidences where I cannot be extreme. Like, I can be trustworthy to a point. Okay. There is to a point, and I am learning and growing and trying to change on to be more trustworthy. It's really important, folks, that if you have been called on it before and you know that you were supposed to be, keeping something quiet and you didn't, you try and keep it quiet for that person. The only reason why I wouldn't nowadays keep something quiet is if it hurts the person or somebody else in a physical or mentally matter. So to me, that would be why I wouldn't keep it quiet. But now I've been growing and changing to where it's really important that when somebody tells you something and it's like their personal business, I don't know, I'm not going to give examples on personal business. I'm sure all of you have tried to confide in somebody and you want them to keep that promise or keep it quiet. Or if you're a brother and a brother, you tell your brother something, you kind of want your brother to keep it quiet. So for instance, that's important in a relationship, is like trust there. That's a really important part of trust, and I'm learning that on my own. But also another part of trust is having your friend not constantly lie to you about stuff. So for instance, let's say Bob over here is my bestie, right? And I ask him about something and he lies, or he says he's gonna do something and then backs out. That's still kind of a lie. I can't trust you if you're gonna constantly back out of your situation, like out of the plan per se, or if you're constantly gonna, lie to me about stuff. That's hard to trust you. That breaks trust. There's 2 ways trust can go. 1, keep secrets for people. 2, don't be a lying pants person. Don't lie. because lying really puts a strain on your trust, on the other person's trust. So it's like really important that you don't lie constantly and that you can keep secrets. This is an area that is really important for a lot of people, and it's also really important that if you struggle with it, to work on it constantly. You should never stop trying to change, especially if it's for the better. So I've learned that. Lots of people can learn that one. And a good thing too is that if you are a trustworthy person, that's awesome. But there are people that struggle with it. But like I said, this video is not to anybody specifically. It's about me. I suck. But I'm exposing myself. I have problems, okay guys? But it's things that I would like to see me work on, actually, in relationships, friendships, because I can suck as a human. I really can. Sometimes I can be really hard to talk to. I could be really hard-headed. I can be really aggressive, angry. I can really suck at communication. I really can. So this whole video is pretty much me exposing myself. So if you honestly think that it's about you, I highly doubt it, because I know it's about me. But anyways, let's see. What else is really important in a relationship with anybody? How about being there for said person? So let's say you have a friend, they're going through crap, okay? It's really important that you check in on your friends. You make sure that if they are going through something that you're like, hey, do you need anything? Can I help you in any way? And sometimes all they want is to be alone. That's fine. If that helps them, then that helps them. And by you not helping them and letting them be alone is helpful. It may not seem like it, but it is. But for the most part, checking in on people, especially if you haven't checked in on them in a really long time, you probably should, to make sure that they're still alive. Not saying that they're dead, but there's a huge part to where they could be going through some, and that's why they haven't reached out to you. And it's really important to make sure that your friends are okay. I should be wearing that sweater that, what's his name? He was Tana Mongeau's boyfriend a while back. I think his name's I don't even know his name. A lot of people like to borrow him for the camera because he can videotape people. But anyway, he has a merch line that says make sure your friends are okay, and it's a giant sweater. And it's for suicide prevention. So it's really epic, because all the money from the sweater goes to help people who are seriously considering suicide. So if you want a sweater, go check that out. But I don't know his name, sorry. I think it's David or Noah or Nick or Patrick or something. Something along those lines. Anyway, a big thing is also just making sure people are okay in your friendships and relationships, and just making sure your peoples are okay. And if they are, that's awesome. And maybe they could maybe want your help. Maybe you should help them. because that would be best. Sometimes the simple gestures when they're going through crap is like a coffee. Some people like that, some people don't. But it's just an idea. Some people really just like, you know, doing like a coffee date or something. The next thing that's like really, really important in any type of relationship is, I wrote it down somewhere. Well, this kind of goes to say with being there for your friend, but also being like extremely supportive of what they do. So like, say they have a YouTube channel. This is about me sucking as a person, but like, for instance, say your friend Shane Dawson. If you're not subscribed, maybe you should be supportive and subscribe. You know, or be proud of who they've become and be supportive in the things that they like. You might not necessarily like it, but being a good partner, friend, whatever it may be, is, you know, kind of sometimes sacrificing doing what you don't like because that would make the other person happy. But they should be doing it for you too. They shouldn't always have you doing stuff that they like. They should do things that you like too. So there's some sacrifice in like just being supportive and being there for them and communicating well with them, being trustworthy. I don't know. I think that's about it for like the really, really important things that are really valuable in any sort of relationship. Now, I can say, since I have a past of losing friends and sometimes it lacks the communication or the trust, or you know, maybe I didn't check in on them enough and they're just like, wow, she doesn't care. Which kind of sucks because I do care. I'm just not glued to my phone every day, and that's not really a great excuse. But it's just really important that you check on your friends and family members if they're going through something, you know. I'm not saying they are, but if you don't know that, because everybody deals with their own stuff differently, and I've kind of lived and learned out of my 24 years of things that I failed at in relationships, that I felt like maybe I could make an advice video of things that I could work on and improve on, but maybe it could help somebody else too. And I feel like if it can help somebody, then I'm not scared to expose myself for sucking, because I know that I failed some people, and those people are not necessarily mad at me anymore because I worked it out with them, and they know that I'm growing and changing, and I'm not the same that I was when we first were, you know, friends or whatever. But people can change. That's important info too. People can change. If they have a past, don't always be like, well, you used to, blah, blah, blah. No, they can change. And if it takes trust for you to, you know, understand that and to see that they have changed, then it's 100% worth the leap of faith. 100% worth it. But if they say that they've changed and they haven't, then I'm sorry. But I'm not saying, most people who say that they have changed in some shape or form. So it's worth the leap of faith if you're scared to make that leap into a relationship or back into it. It's worth a shot. But you know, you can always get out of it being like, you know, if they didn't change, you can easily get out of it. At least in my opinion. Now, if it's like a really, really hardcore like leap of faith and the person's not a good person, they're a toxic person, then you need to like maybe get some help to get out again. But if you know that that person's been toxic and it's like really, really bad toxic behavior, now we're talking about like abuse and stuff like that, that person's not worth going back to, because those kinds of people don't change. They're manipulators. They want you to think that they've changed, but they haven't, and they just want to do the same crap that they were doing when you were in the relationship. So you gotta be careful with the leap of faith. But now if it's like a simple, easy friendship that wasn't toxic at all in the beginning, and I can do trendy videos. I do all sorts of things. So my videos are never really the same. So if you like change, subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.